and welcome to Strips of Light. My name is Jean, and today I'm gonna see if I can turn my regular paper cutting art into acrylic standees. The idea is to make paper art without a frame that can sit on a shelf and that can still be, fairly affordable. So this video is going to be a little different from what I usually make, because normally I make videos on processes that I'm already comfortable with and that I feel, comfortable enough to talk about. This time I'm going in completely blind. I have no idea if this is going to work. I have no idea if the result is going to look any good. So this video is going to be more about, my trials and errors and my experiment, and we'll see what happens at the end. I'll be using regular paper, making paper art like this as I normally do. This video is not going to focus on that. If you're interested in that, check out some of my other stuff. I'll be using acrylic sheets like these, a box cutter, acrylic glue, and anything else I realize I'll need along the way. Let's see how this goes. So, my models are 4 by 11 centimeters, so we're gonna make this part, the lengthy part, we're gonna be cutting this way. Let's see if pencil actually works with this. Nope, can't see a thing. Okay. How about a pen? That's better. Okay, so now I'm gonna line it up with the edge of my table, line up my ruler on top of it. I think that's about right. The bloody clamp's in the way. I also have no measure of how much I need to cut for it to snap. Jesus. No. Okay, screw it. Let's see if it's enough. Okay, so that's a good sign. That means that only the protective film is hanging onto it, so we can just cut that off. Here's how it looks. It's looking a bit jagged. Not happy about this here. But jagged is fine, because we can just sandpaper the edge. Okay, now I need to do the whole process again, but just that way. Oh, it's gonna be quite tricky for the narrow bits with my clamps. Boy. Oh god. This is so impractical. How am I gonna do this? So instead of clamping, what I'm going to do is tape the ruler to the acrylic, cut it on the table, and then I'll just use the clamps to snap the acrylic off. Way. Alright. Now, before I go peeling this off and doing the same process for the other sheet, the real question is it actually going to fit the paper cut? So let's see. You know what? Yeah, look at that. Cool. Okay, so to make the other sheet of acrylic, I think I can just get away with tracing the first one. I'm annoyed that that little cut is there. Let's hope it's not too noticeable once I peel off the cover. Since it's a very thin strip, so I'm curious to see if it will just snap without needing the clamps. Let's see. Okay, don't need to bother with the clamps. Wonderful news. They just about fit. I forgot the important step of sanding all of the edges off, smooth out any imperfections. I'm hoping this won't actually damage how clear it is. I'm following tutorials for this, but tutorials that weren't particularly made to make standees, just tutorials to teach you how to work with acrylic sheets, so with requirements that are a bit different from mine, but, this is why we experiment. Let's peel this off and see how it looks. Okay, so it looks pretty clear, which is good and it's what we want. But I am seeing that the one that I scratched up here is very noticeable. Okay, so that's good to know. If you scratch it up, it's unusable. But it's okay, this can be my practice. So to do a practice one, because I still want to see how the paper is going to react if it potentially gets glue on it, I made like a very simple replica that's gonna fit onto here. The reason I wanted it to be similar is because I want to see how the paper is going to react when glue gets applied to like large chunks, to medium chunks, and to very thin chunks. According to all of the tutorials that I found, the best type of glue to use for acrylic is this acrylic adhesive. Or like actually, the ones I see recommended the most are Well Done 4, but Well Done 4 is not available in the UK, so this is the closest equivalent I could find. Okay, so I'm gonna start by fitting this in. That's exactly what I want. I want the paper to come to the edge in some places because I want to see how it's going to react to the glue. Now this glue comes with a warning that if you leave it in its plastic bottle, its shelf life is about 3 to 4 weeks. And I don't think I'll be using the entire glue in just a month. So I got myself a little plastic bottle and I put the glue in there, and I'm going to be using a syringe to apply it. And the first thing I want to test is I want to see how paper reacts to having the glue, to being in direct contact with the glue. Oh god, oh this is really drippy, okay. Oh wow, it's really just like water. It's incredibly liquid. Okay, so it looks like it doesn't stain the paper at all, which is amazing news. Alright, so that's one worry out of the way. I don't think it's gonna stain the paper. Now, I don't want to put too much. And oh, this is already staining, I can tell. Oh, this is gonna look terrible. Oh, look at this. Oh no. Oh, that's gonna be like massive glue stains. Okay. Alright. More research needed, I think. Alright, so I went away, I did a lot of testing with gluing and with cutting, and here's what I found. So if I use my syringe and store like any amount of glue into the syringe and then press the glue with any amount of pressure, you end up with ugly glue stains like these that even ends up like staining the paper. So that's no good, but I found that if I just dip the needle in without storing any glue whatsoever and just run it along the sides, you end up with no glue stains whatsoever. It looks really clear and it's still sturdy enough as long as you do that a couple times, like add a few layers of glue. And I also found that when cutting, I don't need to bother with the clamps as much as I did because my acrylic sheets are actually thin enough that I can snap the smaller bits just by hand, and the longer bits I just need the clamps when snapping but not when cutting. So with all of that experiment under my belt, I think I'm ready to do it for real and to make a standee with my actual paper cut. I'm weirdly nervous about doing this with the real thing. Which is weird, because if it doesn't work out, I can just do it again. It's fine. For the time being, I'm going to focus the glue on the parts where the paper isn't, so like here, 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 here. Oh, why am I nervous? Calm down. Well, fucked it. I fucked it. God damn it. Oh, at the very least I can stop being nervous now. Jesus, okay. Okay, so I still don't have the amount of glue down, so there's like glue spots here, here, and here, and here. God, what do you mean practicing for just maybe an hour isn't enough to learn a brand new skill? What do you mean? To make the base, I had little pieces like these that I'd bought for like a different thing that I was trying. And I thought these will be perfect because the slit here is exactly 2 millimeters, which is exactly the width of my standees. Problem is, turns out they're very, very slightly smaller than 2 millimeters because they've got like tiny little grooves inside. Which means that if you try to press 2 layers of my acrylic sheets through it, it leaves like ugly marks, it makes it really hard to push through, really hard to take off. So annoyingly, I have like a stack of 20 of these that I can't use. But then I figured, when cutting my strips to make my standees, I'm always left with a bit of leftovers. So I figured I can sort of try to make my own by cutting out what I've got left and doing like a base plus a stack. Let's start with 3 strips, 3 thin strips that would go like this on either side, and hopefully that will stand the thing up right. Let's try it. I'm gonna say that for the base, it doesn't matter as much if you get glue stains, what matters is that it's sturdy. So I'm just gonna pump it full of glue. The glue's all dry on the base, so time to see if it can actually hold up. Yeah, that works. Very slightly wobbly maybe, but I think I can fix that by making sure the strips are completely even. So yeah, that means I don't need to buy extra stuff for the base. Hooray! So, after more experimenting and more practicing, I feel like I finally got these to a point where I'm happy with them. Where the glue is clean, there are no glue marks, and it's still sturdy enough. The trick, as it turns out, was to get clamps really... a lot more clamps along the edges than what I had originally, so I had maybe like 4 on each side, plus 1 or 2 at the top. And then put as little glue as possible and just do a couple layers, and that makes it sturdy without getting any glue marks on the edges. And I also improved the base as well, because my original base wasn't very clean, it wasn't very nice to look at. So this one is 2 added layers at the front plus 1 layer at the back just to prop up the thing. I feel like I can still improve these a little bit. There's like a slight glue mark over here, maybe, that you can see. But I feel like that's less of a problem. You know, that's something to improve in the future, but it's not a massive problem either. So of course there's more improvements that can happen, there's like little details that I can make better, but generally I feel like they're at a point where they look good as they are, without it taking too long to make, so I can still make them affordably. And I think they look quite nice, they would look good on a shelf. I have no idea how well they'll do, but, you know, this is an experiment. I enjoyed making them, and now the test is to see how well they do, how people like them. So these, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, these 9, I'm gonna sell at my next convention in Reading, see if people like them, and if they do well enough, if they get some interest, then I might make more, because I have a lot of designs that could fit in a format like that already. But these were really fun to make! So thank you very much for watching, let me know if you like this format of me just trying stuff, getting it wrong, improving the process, and seeing what works and what doesn't, and I might make more stuff like this in the future. Let me know if you have a favorite, let me know if you have a character that you'd like to see in this format. Like the video, it really helps my channel out a lot. Subscribe to the channel, that also helps the channel. Check out my shop on Etsy. come and find me at Reading Comic Con on the 14th of June, and I'll see you next time.